The human part is why we love our customer stories so much. When they are telling their story from their point of view, no AI model can replicate that.
Welcome to the Entail AI podcast, where we go behind the scenes with top marketing leaders and innovators who are driving growth for their brands. This episode's expert is Rob Freedman, Vice President of Growth at Zuper, a SaaS platform that enables service teams to deliver superior customer service while optimizing efficiency and profitability. Rob has over 20 years of marketing experience, and we have the privilege of getting his insights to targeting diverse audiences and creating an effective marketing strategy to maximize reach.
I've spoken to other people from similar companies, and also being in marketing, I think this field is very interesting and also challenging to be able to target different people in terms of marketing. I mean, to be able to target different people, different occupations, basically, because probably you're not just targeting one type of service, and you can work through different channels. So I think we can have a very interesting conversation about that. In terms of marketing, basically, maybe you can elaborate, what channels do you usually work through? I mean, is it mostly paid or organic channels?
Well, you hinted upon this at the beginning, that it's a unique space. And with it, especially when you're addressing so many different personas like we are, so many different industry verticals, there's not one marketing channel that's going to work. You have to meet people where they're at. If it's a larger enterprise manufacturer, it's more traditional LinkedIn, email, large events, industry events, networking. Those are the pathways. If it is a fast growing, locally owned, say HVAC company or plumbing or electrical company, some of the landscapers that we work with, we found them by social marketing, definitely organic and pay-per-click played a big role. It's just meeting them out there in the field and really networking with the local smaller organizations has been a great pathway for us for marketing to those people. So it really just depends on the persona that we're trying to reach. Because it's so broad, the Zuper platform can serve companies pretty much of all sizes. We do it all. And so organic, has been a big driver of new business, trying to PR, branding, getting the Zuper name out there. Luckily, it's catchy. People remember it. And then from there, it's leveraging those paid channels, the software, the software ranking channels such as like G2 and Capterra and Software Advice. Those are big ones for us. We have great customers, love us. So the reviews on like G2, we just got the new set of badges came out yesterday for winter, and very happy to maintain our leader status. So it's those are all great channels that those reviews are credentializing, especially because they're independent, third parties.
So just to understand about the platform itself, so you're saying that you need to market to the service providers, basically. But is it a marketplace? I mean, do you connect between the service providers and the end user?
Yeah. So the Zuper platform, what it is any company can use the Zuper platform either for just to manage their field technicians and their work. So it does like the scheduling, dispatching, routing, inventory tracking. Will manage the entire work order with set checklists and workflows. But then also you can GPS tracking. It can clock people, technicians in and out of a job. It can also help you elevate your customer experience by giving the customer the ability to track where the technician is and give them a much narrower and accurate window of arrival time. And customers can have a portal where they can go in and request service. And so we can provide both some customer facing customer portal activities, plus give like a dispatcher or business owner full visibility into what their field team is doing, what jobs are being done, where they are physically in the world, and then also give them dashboards with deep analytics about performance, what types of jobs are taking more time or less time than others, how much it actually is costing to do a job. and in certain work orders, and really help them make those crucial business decisions.
So you being a marketplace, basically a platform that's a marketplace, it makes marketing even more challenging because you have to get the supply and the demand at the same time. I mean, the biggest challenge of a marketplace.
It's not exactly a marketplace. It's just that because the flexibility of our app, it happens that multiple different companies can use our platform.
Okay. So you mean the company themselves like manage the work?
Yep.
But you don't need to bring the customers for the company.
No.
If like
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I understand. Okay. So the target audience are the service providers that you want to have them use your platform to manage their services, basically.
Yep, exactly. And manage that customer experience, trying to give them that Uber-like experience to their customers where they can do online booking of the service. Say, I need my pool cleaned. I can go find a pool cleaner on their website. It just looks like their website. I log in, I make an account. I say I need pool cleaning. I need my filters changed. And then I can track this, say, yep, scheduled for this date and time. I can track the technician's arrival time. I can pay the work invoice right there in the portal or on the app. Or if I happen to be home, I could the technician can actually take my payment right there on their phone, and then get my receipt and paperwork. And then also the app would let the technician take detailed notes, take photographs or video of what they encounter. So the next time I order the service, if it's a different technician, they know exactly what was done before. They exactly know if there's any little nits or particular needs. If I had any strange requests, they all can be detailed. And so when the next technician comes, it's even more seamless and it's all automated.
Okay, so in terms of like you're talking about different, I mean, the target audience is service providers, but there's like different types of them, and they're probably searching for different things and kind of like different industries. So how do you create an effective, how do you develop an effective marketing strategy for such a diverse audience?
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of keyword research. And you're right. Every industry talks about themselves differently. Every industry talks about field service differently. Many of them are looking for plumbing operations software. Some are looking for asset management software for HVAC companies, and all these different kinds of keyword combinations. I think currently, it's like thousands of keywords that we monitor, that we try to optimize for, and that we try to advertise against. So it is a big lift. And also it takes a lot of, good old fashioned just talking to your customer, listening to the marketplace, learning from them about how do they think about their business. What are the things that brought them to even look for such a solution? Because many didn't even know something like this existed. They might have been looking for a scheduling tool. They might have been looking for something to help them with invoicing or payments. What they didn't know is there's something that could bring all those pieces together, all those parts of their business together, and have integrations with the other tools that they're using, such as like a QuickBooks online or an ERP system, and integrate with those and pass the information back and forth. And they're like, wow, didn't even know this existed. And then all the light bulbs come off. They're like, wow, I really can, configure this to run my business my way. We like to say field service your way is our tagline for a reason, because the app is so, the platform's, the most configurable out there, and people can build out their own dashboards, build out their own workflows, and run their business in the way that they've always imagined.
In terms of developing a strategy like that, what would be like the main tips? If you had like a few tips, like from your own experience, you can share something. I mean, maybe even a personal story of like how you develop the strategy, or what works or what doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, the first tip I have is don't try to tackle everything at once. I think we've got customers in like 17 or 18 different industries, all of them cannot be a priority. You really have to, talk to the other stakeholders within the company. Make sure you're aligned with sales, onboarding, customer success, the product team, knowing which direction the product's going, and make sure you're all aligned on, okay, these customers have greater success on our platform, or these customers, give us much better, for whatever reason, much better NPS scores. Listen to the data and let that guide where you need to prioritize. And yes, we can do all 18, but really there's like a core 6 that we really love. Easy to onboard, great NPS scores. They're great, happy customers. They're doing customer stories and videos for us, willing to be testimonials on the website or do G2 for us. Those sorts of things. Like, okay, how do we find more people who look like this, more companies that look like this, and then build out the campaigns accordingly? So it's really starting with our early successes and seeing where the nice Venn diagram overlap of they love us, easy to onboard, sales loves talking to them and is deeply educated in their industries, and marketing can find them. So we can find where all 4 come together, and those are the ones we focus on. And then after you feel like you've got that going really well, then you can start to branch out a little bit more. Sometimes experiment. If you see some intent signals, using some intent signal type data, you say, okay, look, we're getting a lot of visitors or a lot of interest from a certain vertical. Maybe it's worth building out a campaign and testing it and seeing, and doing some account-based marketing to see if, is it accident? Is there maybe a keyword or channel that's driving them to you that needs to be turned off because they're not a good fit, yet they're finding you? And so that means it's wasted money and effort. Or is there an untapped potential? And so that's where the fun stuff is, the experimentation.
Yeah. So you're saying account-based marketing, so it means that it's not purely like self-serve marketing, it's also sales. You're doing, like, if it's larger organizations, you have demo calls and you sell them?
Yep. Yeah, so we do have an account executive sales team. We have a business development team who really leverages the account-based marketing. We give them all the intent signals we can, all the different data points that they can to determine who would be a really good target for us and target account, and then helping them put ads out there, put thought leadership out there on the topics, and try to just pull those people into the funnel. And then once we see some level of engagement and we know, okay, they've now seen the Zuper brand, they've clicked on engage with some ads, maybe they've been to the website a couple of times, now we can do some proactive outreach to those folks and pick up the phone and give them a call, or try to connect with them on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp, and try to connect with them and show them the platform.
Okay, so that's quite an evolved system. You have like an evolved operation, I'd say. Like, you're saying you don't reach out to an ideal client just like that. You basically warm them up with marketing, with ads, and once you see they have interest, only then you proactively reach out to them.
I would say in a perfect world, I'd say we do that 80% of the time. Sometimes, they're not that active. Maybe you see that there's slight intent signals, but they're not engaging. They're not connecting with anything. But you're like, man, they really would be a good customer for us. They really are a good fit. And then you just give it a shot and do the good old fashioned cold call. But we try not to. We try to warm up the audience first. So it's far more effective and less intrusive.
Yeah, I bet the response rates are much higher if the audience is warmer, right?
Oh yeah, if they've been engaging with our ads and been on the website, we know they've downloaded the ebook or watched a couple of videos. We're like, okay, this person knows us. Now it's just a matter of finding the right time to have that conversation and show them the platform.
Okay, and so that's one part or one segment of probably you can segment it within that, but one segment of your audience, and then you have the segment that basically signs up on their own. They don't need a demo call, maybe smaller businesses, right? And you market differently to them.
We do. So we do get a lot of organic traffic, people who are probably from your typical SMBs who through Google searches or through some other marketing activities come to our website and they sign up for a free trial. They talk to one of our team members to help them configure it for their specific use case, for their business type and use case. And then they just convert kind of organically there with some nice coaching and consulting from our sales team.
Can you really like attribute like through which channels the customer came from? I mean, if it's organic, probably a lot of people just branded searches, like they saw you on social media or they saw an ad and they search for your company, they search for Zuper, or is it they coming in from ads and they click? I mean, how, like, what's the percentage of traffic that you can really account for, you can really attribute?
Yeah, so I mean that's a great question, and in our kind of cookieless world that we're living in, it does create some challenges, but we create some definite, if they're organic or at least direct traffic to the website, if they didn't come through one of our ads, and those filter people through a series of landing pages that we can definitely know are only tied to certain campaigns, so that those landing pages were only used in certain places for certain industries or audiences, though those are easy to track. It's attribution for the person who just comes in off the street, so to speak. We can see if it was a Google search and whether or not it was a keyword versus a branded keyword, and we can see some details about that. But what put the Zuper name in there, if they use our branded keyword in their search, we don't always know where they got the Zuper name in their mind to even search for that. And that is a challenge. So there are people who probably read press releases, see us on social media, maybe they hear us on a podcast, or they find one of our videos on YouTube and then go to Google separately. And, anecdotally, we have like a very common customer journey, so to speak, is someone will be researching these types of tools on, say, G2 or Capterra. They'll see our profile there. We have very strong rankings on those sites, great reviews. We'll see that there's a comparison, and we'll see that someone from X company has been on our G2 profile. And then a day later, there will be a Google search, and they'll search for us. They'll land on our website. They'll fill out book a demo, and they'll schedule that demo with one of our account executives. And so initially, it'll look like they just came from a branded Google search, landed on our website, and to book the demo. But then once we do the drill down in HubSpot, we're able to see, oh, actually, someone from this company was on our G2 profile. Not a guarantee it was this person, but probably this person was on our G2.
Can HubSpot show you the data on G2?
Yeah, so there's integrations. So thank goodness for integrations, because we're able to pull in our G2 data into HubSpot. We're able to pull in like Zoom info intent data into HubSpot and Rollworks and see, and through these, and plus Google Analytics, and through all these channels, we're able to at least see at the account level, someone from that company was doing the research. It may not be the exact person. It could be, I know in one particular case, it was an office manager was doing the initial research, handed off his research over to his boss, and the boss, she was the one who booked the demo based on the research that was conducted earlier in the week by the office manager. And so while the office manager saw us on G2, it was the supervisor who booked the demo after a Google search. So not always the same person, but at least it's the same. You can track at the account level, which is pretty helpful.
That's very interesting. Do you have analysts like reviewing the analytics data that you get from HubSpot and so on? Like how many people deal with that amount of data?
Not enough. No, we do have a couple of people who on our team who review the stuff on a weekly basis and take a look at the customer journeys that people are taking. We use a couple of tools to help with that. But just so much data. I mean, now we're awash in it, and it's all valuable, but it does, like you said, you almost need a couple analysts to sit there and comb through and find those bright flags to like, hey, Pay attention. This is the pathway.
Scaling your content marketing and SEO efforts can be difficult. If you're looking for a partner to help you succeed, Entail AI has the right tools to help you achieve your marketing goals. Find out more at the link in our bio or go to entail.ai to check out our range of solutions.
How many people in general do you have on your marketing team?
I'm very fortunate. It is a large team. We've got about 14 people on the team overall, including some graphic designers and such.
Okay. And what are you doing? I mean, do you have a strategy about, I mean, I know many companies are now there's a lot of hype around AI and how to create more content with AI or how to leverage AI for your marketing. And I mean, me personally, I see a lot of it reminds me of crypto from a few years back, like, get rich fast, that stuff. And everybody, everywhere you Google AI marketing, you get like tons of stuff. You go on social media, you get tons of stuff. I just wonder how you deal with that hype and what do you do, how to keep up.
I mean, it's certainly useful in certain cases. I would say it is an amazing time to be a marketer, but some AI tools are more of a distraction. We have found, and I try to not curtail, but be mindful about what we're trying to use, especially for content, and making sure that we're using it in the right way. Yeah, use it for outlining bullet points, but not for the actual writing part of it. It can help you on the research side of things. Data analysis, that's been the biggest benefit what we have found with AI. There's a couple of great data sheet tools that you can just dump huge amounts of raw data in there, ask natural language questions.
That's really the place to use it because I mean, a lot of the power of AI is really about being able to analyze tons of data that you can't as a human. It's not that it's smarter than you, it just can analyze tons of data that you just don't have the capacity to. And if you have like a lot of data, like you're saying, you're like talking different channels, different audience segmentation and so on. So how do you reconcile all that? How do you know what to focus on? How do you even analyze all this data? So I'm sure AI can help quite a lot with that. And I see with our clients, I see also with, I know marketers I speak to, people that are like, so they're like, I don't know, there's a FOMO, like, and pressure from marketing, from executives in the companies, drive down your content costs and all that. I think it's the completely opposite way of what companies should look at when it comes to AI, because it's just like what you're saying. I mean, what would be a smart way to use AI to improve your marketing? It's not just, now there's AI, I can fire half my team. That's not the way to look at it. And the companies are looking at it that way sometimes, because eventually the price of your marketing is derived from the price of your product. The cost of your marketing is derived from the price of your product, from competition. You can drive costs down, but competition will overtake you because they're going to create better content, create better campaigns. So it's really about how you can leverage it to have better marketing and not just look for like how to do cheap things quickly. Because I mean, McDonald's have a good business, I think, but it's not like everybody can do McDonald's. It's not just that everything is fast food. And if your entire marketing is fast food, you're going to end up being fast food and being labeled as one, right?
Well, yeah. And there's a lot of bad fast food that doesn't make it. I mean, really, why McDonald's is able to do what they do is scale. And that takes time. People forget it's taken them like 40 years, 50 years to get there. But with us, it's when I talk to our team, it's like, let's use the tools to help each person do more in their job, be able to produce more and not as a replacement for. Like, we have a team, we have 4 content writers. I'm not going to replace a single one of them with any writing AI tool I've ever seen. So probably all love to hear that, but there's no replacing that the human touch. No AI is going to be able to learn our business and our nuances and all the different verticals without us building our own large language model and training it, which takes a lot of time and energy, and we're not that's not effective. So for us, if we were just selling hamburgers, it's much easier to write content for just hamburgers, but not so much when you're talking about a complex, ever evolving SaaS platform like ours.
Yeah. I mean, even there, I mean, I often give this example because we have a customer that does like profit analysis and so on. So a lot of the content they used to do was around, how to use spreadsheets to do this and that, like P&L and so on. So spreadsheet formulas is something that ChatGPT or Bard can basically generate now, and it's much easier to ask them rather than to search on to search on Google and find and read an article about that. So it's really easy to use ChatGPT for that. So this is a type of we call it like a query class that's ideal for ChatGPT. But like what you're saying, I mean, the knowledge, the unique expertise that you need to have in order to create content that produces value for people. Again, not just like junk food, like real can really like nourish you. I mean, the value that people are looking for. If you can ask ChatGPT a question and it answers that question, great. Ask ChatGPT. Don't take that question and put it in your blog, or that answer, put it in your blog. Because if ChatGPT can provide it, I don't need your blog for that. I need your blog, or I need your content. Doesn't matter if it's a blog or if it's like things you publish on LinkedIn or whatever. When people are exposed to your content and it's supposed to provide them with value, it's because it's unique. It's because it's that personal experience, that human experience that you cannot get from an AI, and you're looking for that authentic look and feel with the content. So I think that should be like the main focus, which is what you're saying. It's like you can't just mass produce it like that.
Oh yeah, you bring up a great point, Tom, because the human part is why we love our customer stories so much. Because when they are telling the story about their business, the evolution of their business to adopt technology, for them to go through the digitalization process, and for them to adopt a platform like ours, to tell their story from their point of view on the impact it's had on their business, the impact it's had on their customers. No AI model can replicate that. Not with the authenticity. They could come up with a fictional story, of course, that may be similar. But when you can watch a video of a business owner who talks about how it's helped them completely revamp their business, help them, grow, help them provide better service, help them in so many ways. And that's authentic. That's real. And then other business owners of similar companies can identify with that. They can empathize with the struggles, the things that were keeping them up at night, the problems that they were trying to solve. And we just happen to be one little part of that story.
What's the distribution between you doing paid campaigns, you're doing articles, you're doing videos? What's the strategy around that? Like, what's the distribution of all the content that you put out?
Yeah, I mean, we're putting out dozens of articles a month. So, I mean, we probably are still putting most of our budget money around paid, but I would say probably more of our time around the organic and the authentic is where most of our time and efforts are going. The paid stuff, the account-based marketing, a lot of that is once you get the machine going, there's a lot of upfront lift, but then once it's rolling and you get everything plugged in correctly and everyone trained up on it, then it kind of can maintain itself. And then it's whether or not you dial it up or down based on whatever the company's needs are.
So you're saying it's mostly articles? I mean, you're not doing like more videos for social media and so on?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we're definitely doing a lot of customer stories, more videos, but they're all part of our GTM kind of packages that we put together. The Zuper platform, we put out so many updates, new modules, new features, and every month we've got a whole new set of content coming out to bring that new feature to market. And those content packages all include, videos, when possible, customer stories, customers who we gave early access to that feature or module so they can try it out. And then a video or conversation with them. It's all part of what we do for each GTM.
So in terms of challenges that as a marketing leader, and then I mean we touched a bit about AI and then some of the challenges of adopting to this like super dynamic field you're in. What do you think are the biggest challenges that marketing leaders and growth leaders are facing now?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the greatest challenges is probably not getting distracted by the bright shiny object, staying focused on and what's working for your business, staying focused, sticking to the plan. I always say execution, making sure that you're executing on the plan that you know and trust that you built from the beginning, and give it a chance to work, and making sure you're collecting the right metrics. Not all metrics matter, and make sure you're collecting the right metrics, watching the right numbers frequently enough, reviewing those with your teams, and just saying, hey, just because this great opportunity, maybe to be in an event or a sponsorship or something comes up that will take energy and focus away from the work your team's supposed to be doing, and trying to resist those urges, because there's a lot out there. There's a lot of cool stuff to do, and sometimes you just got to say no to an opportunity because you're trying to do too much, and then you end up doing a lot of things, but none of it very well. So it's better is know your bandwidth and stick with the plan.
I really agree with that, and I mean, I love marketing. I love marketing automation, and there's always a lot of things that I'd like to try. But I often tell people that when you're building a new marketing operation or like developing a new marketing channel, you have to be narrow, not wide. And I mean, first of all, for me, the way I look at it is like, first of all, you have to like send like one player, to score a goal. And if they can score, then you can now start building that and expanding that. Because if you just come in with like, bring in all the troops, together before you really proven that it works, it's much more difficult, because there's one thing is developing a new channel or a new operation. And the fact that you did this in this company doesn't mean that it will apply to another company. Maybe even a competitor that sells a very similar product, it doesn't necessarily always work the same, and you never know in marketing before you try. You must try first. So I always think of it as let's first try it in like with a small group, kind of like an elite unit, the pathfinders, whatever you want to call them, and you want to reach that point where you say, okay, you see, it's like the entire process is like really broken still. It's far from perfect, but you see it's working. We can see we have signs that it's working, and now you can start developing it, like increasing it, and so on. And I think like what you're talking also about focus now, and I see that also in many companies. I mean, if you don't keep focused, then it's really true. I mean, I really like that you mentioned it as one of the biggest challenges, because if you don't keep focused and you're doing many things, first of all, it's difficult to measure. It's very difficult to distinguish like what created the change if you're doing like tons of stuff at the same time. And then you're probably not doing anything very well if you're just doing a lot of stuff at the same time. It's like you're spread thin, right?
Yep, exactly. Just keep it, stay, like you said, stay narrow, go deeper, get better at that, perfect it. Then you can branch out and try more things and add on, but not until you really nail down those systems, processes, and really fully understand the mechanics behind getting those results. Sometimes you get accidental, sometimes you're lucky, and you need a larger sample size to really flesh something out and to understand whether or not it's going to be successful for you. Not to make rash decisions just based on an early success. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to make sure that success is sustainable.
And in terms of, I know it's a general question. It's like, how much time does it take really to like develop a new channel or a new process? I mean, it's like asking like how much does a car cost? I know it's a general question, but still, you can say it probably doesn't take a day or a week, and you probably won't invest in it like 2 years. So it's probably like kind of a sweet spot in terms of time and budget that you're willing to invest in a new activity.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's a balance there. Yeah, you can spend more to do something faster, but in general, if you're going to go into a new channel, I'd say it's at least 6 months, at least a solid 6 months. And then And even then you may realize, okay, my first go at it wasn't quite right, but you saw enough promise. So if you make a few more adjustments and try it again, so it could be a full year before you can declare a channel a winner or not. And then there's other places where you can make much faster data-driven decisions, such as a Google Pay PPC campaign, something where you're flooded with data and information. You can know that within a couple of weeks to a month. Okay, this one's not resonating. We're not getting the traction. Email marketing, you can learn that a lot faster. It's real simple. Hey, where are the open rates, engagement rates, click rates? Those again. So it's almost like if the channel can give you a lot of data, you can make and pivot and change and adjust faster. But if some of the ones that are more, say, like events, an event marketing strategy, it's going to take a full cycle, a year of those events that you're going to participate in for you to understand what the true ROI is from your event marketing strategy.
There's a question that, is very interesting for me personally. If you need to develop like something new, so you say like there's a kind of an activity or a channel where you think there's a lot of promise, you're not sure yet. Do you usually, and you probably need to build a team to do that, or at least like, I don't know, a couple of people to start working on that. Do you usually do that? Do you usually hire for that, like new people, or do you want to do it with existing team members?
So great question. Sometimes I start with an agency, and find an agency that I trust, but and go with them to try as a test case before I hire for it. And that's only if I can't find a way to do it with existing personnel. So maybe you got someone on your team who's ready for a new challenge. Maybe someone on your team is ready to take that next step in their career. They've been doing, maybe you've got a social media manager who's been working really hard, giving great results, but now they want to do some paid media. And they want to get into trying building out campaigns and maybe doing some like connected TV campaigns and things that are kind of tangential to what they were doing, but they're ready for that next step in their career. And we're like, okay, well, we want to experiment with this. You're ready to learn and you're ready to take that next step in your career. This is the growth opportunity. And that's how you bring your people up. So that's typically how I do it. And then unless something is super specialized, that no one here has the bandwidth or the necessary basic foundational skill set to handle, then you can bring in an agency to test it. And once you know it works, then you can see whether or not staying with that agency long term and make a multi-year process relationship with them, or you can bring it in-house or do a combination. I've worked with agencies and said, hey, this is great. Now help me build this in-house, and then they can become my consultant.
Interesting. I have to tell, like me personally, I'm quite extreme with many things that I do. You can ask my friends. But with that, that's why it's interesting for me, because I usually prefer, I'm very suspicious when it comes to marketing, because it's very easy to promise things and it's very difficult to deliver. So I usually prefer to do it with, basically I prefer the entire team to kind of grow in-house and learn in-house. And then when we start a new activity, I usually like to take somebody. Everybody complains about it because I move somebody who's usually it's one of the best people. You move them around, so people are annoyed that you kind of downgrade their department, you move them somewhere else. But I find it, and we have a few people like that are good with kicking off new activities, and then starting to develop it with them. So, and I see other companies where they want to start a new, paid activity. They want to start social media. They want to start events. So they'll go out and hire somebody for that, which makes a lot of sense because you can bring in somebody with experience. But what I find for me a challenge is that often when you recruit somebody with experience, it's a hit and miss thing. It doesn't matter how much you interview them and you test and you get recommendations and all that. It often doesn't succeed. And when you have somebody in-house, even if they don't, because bringing somebody with experience on board will take them easily at least 3 months just to get into the thick of things, right? And then often if you have somebody who's very talented and you say, okay, let's learn something new, in 3 things they're gonna already find their bearings and start being productive there. If they're talented and they're good with innovation and all that. So anyway, just wondering how different people approach this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are kind of similar. I'd much rather go in-house at first, and then hiring for the particular item is something usually I do much later on.
Okay, Rob, I think we're basically out of time already.
Yeah, Tom, this has been great. Actually, I can't believe, all flew by.
So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. My pleasure, Tom.
Thank you for listening to the Entail AI podcast. Join us next time for another masterclass when we sit down with a marketing luminary to reveal their path to success.